Welcome YouTube, this is the Velvet Locks, and this is just basically a lock chit chat, things I wish I knew before I locked my hair. Things that we don't think about at the time when we are in the process of going through the process actually of locking your hair and actually doing research first, knowing what you want before actually going to your stylist to actually start your process. So the first thing I wish I knew before I locked my hair was the part size ratio. And that is basically the size part to, that's the size part, the part determines how much hair, like this part right here, like this one right here, as you can see, it's a nice little size. This one was actually combined, so now it's a nice size, but I wish I knew before locking because I started my locks small, and these parts are small, but what I didn't know was as they mature, they thin out. So I wish I knew about that before starting my locks. Even though I did my research and I knew what size I wanted, I really didn't take that to real good consideration when starting the size that I started with. I started with small locks, and I wish I didn't, because now I want my locks to be thicker. Now that they've matured and they're condensed, they're even thinner than it was when I started. So now it's combining time. So that's number one. I wish I knew about the part size ratio before actually locking my hair. The second thing is I wish I started my locks thicker. That's the reason why. I wish I started them thicker. I didn't realize, even though I researched and everything, I didn't realize that they were going to get so condensed and that they were going to be thinner than when I started them. I mean, I started them small as far as the size, but I didn't realize that once they get mature and they condense, they condense, that they were going to be even thinner. And I didn't like it because they really looked like spaghetti size, and that I like thicker locks. My size locks, some of the really thin ones I've already combined, but I do still have a few here. And when your locks start off thin, well, these are good, but the ones that I had before that I combined, when I started them at least this size or thinner, when they grew out, they got thinner at the root and they got weak in areas. As I manipulated styles, I noticed that they were more fragile, they were more delicate. So in order for me to actually do any type of ponytail, I couldn't have it tight, because if I did it tight around the lock, when I finally took it out, I had like weak spots in some parts of my lock. So yeah, I wish I started my locks thicker. I wish I started my locks with coils instead of 2-strand twists. And I started my locks with the 2-strand twist because I did my big chop and my hair grew out. So I had a nice sized amount of hair to actually lock, but when I went to the stylist, she trimmed it down. She gave me a nice cut because my hair was very uneven and damaged. So when she started it, she mentioned that being that they were already a certain length, that the best way to do it, to start it, would have been with the 2-strand twist. So me not knowing, I figured, okay, I'll go by what she said. And that ain't true, because I could have still started it with coils. And I think with the coil, it would have probably locked a lot faster than with the 2-strand twist, because with the 2-strand twist, it seems like it took very long to lock. Whereas some people locked in 4 months, it took me longer to lock for my hair to actually look like they were locks. And it took pretty much almost a year before they actually looked like locks to other people. Everyone always thought I had braids in my hair, and I'm like, no, they're not braids. But then eventually they started looking like locks, and people were like, you got locks? So that's when I realized, ooh, I'm official. So yeah, I wish I started it with coils instead of 2-strand twists. I wish I knew that when I started my locks, my ends would not all seal. Now I think this has to do with my texture hair, because I've seen other people with my size locks. I don't know what the texture of their hair is, but their ends were sealed. not all my ends are sealed. As you can see, this one is a perfect example. It's still curly at the end. I don't want curly ends. I don't want coily ends. I want ends that look like they're locked, sealed. And these are not. These are like, come on, you know. For the most part, they're sealing, you know, but I do still got a lot of little curls on the end, and it's more evident after a wash. So after I shampoo my hair, I see a lot of curly ends, and I don't like that. I wish I knew that. Maybe it's the size that I'm starting it out with. Maybe it's because they're small, they're thin, so it probably takes a longer time for the ends to seal. If so, somebody let me know that, because I'm still having trouble after almost 4 years. In February will be my 4th year Loc'diversary, and for 4 years some of my ends are still not sealed. So for those of you who are wondering when are my ends going to seal, not all the time they're going to seal. Not everybody's ends seal. I guess it has to do with the texture here. I don't know, or the density, but that's my issue. I wish I knew how thin my hair was going to get as they got longer. Ooh, I wish I knew, even though I heard it, I've researched it, I've seen it on videos, but I didn't think it was going to be possible for me. But as my hair grew out and got longer, my ends started getting thinner. And I stopped doing a lot of things that I was doing before, as far as a lot of ACV rinses. I don't know if that had anything to do with the thinning of the locks. I know for sure the coloring, which was a blonde color, had a lot to do with my ends, my roots actually thinning or looking a little thin. But as they grow out, your ends do get thinner. Well, I've done something to combat that, because now all my ends, my roots are thick, and that's because of my natural oils that I mix together, and I rub in my hair daily, or at least 3 times a week, as well as spritz in my hair. So my ends are no longer thin. They're actually thickening up even more because of the things that I've been doing to stimulate my scalp and stimulate more blood flow to my scalp. And I really see the results of it, and the hair is getting thicker. Where it was getting thin before is no longer thinning. All my hair, yeah, all my locks seem to now be more uniform looking. Okay, as you can see, this one was thin, okay, but now it's thickening. You see how thick it's getting? So as this grows out, my locks are going to change. They're going to be thicker. And then the thinner parts are going to be towards the end and most likely get cut off. So yeah, as they're getting longer, they're going to get a little thinner at the roots. I wish I knew how easy it is to maintain locks. I didn't know that before starting locks. I wish I knew how easy it was. All these years I've seen, I mean, locks was never something I desired to do at all. It was a taboo in my family. You know, we're from the Caribbean, we're from the island of Jamaica, so in our household, locks was like the disgrace, and you know, you couldn't do it. So, but for so many years as in my adulthood, I've been doing weaves, wigs, all sorts of stuff until I did my big chop. But I didn't realize how easy locks really are and how beautiful they are until I did it. And I'm telling you, sometimes, those of you with locks already know, sometimes you don't feel like doing anything, you're rushing, you just get up and go. And actually, I didn't do anything with my hair today at all. I had my scarf on, I took it off, I put some oils in my hair, spritz it a little bit, and that's it. I didn't do anything. Fluffed it up a little bit, and that's it. Get up and go. And I'm like, wow, you know? All right. One thing I did not know before locking my hair was how they make you feel at times. They're like kids. They could be disobedient You know, you're trying to fix a lock and lock just don't want to do whatever you're trying to get it to do. But one thing I didn't know before locking my hair was that I was going to be annoyed when they got longer. I want longer locks, but I didn't realize how annoying they can be when they get longer. Everyone is striving for past the shoulder, down the back length locks. Now my locks are on my back. They're down my back. But one thing when I realized that I was getting length in my locks was they started getting caught in so many things. They were getting caught and rolled up in my shirt when I would put it over my head. They would get caught under my arm, like my hair's on here. Depends. Sometimes I'm doing this. This one gets caught. The show off. This is the one that I call the show off because it's the longest lock in the back. And this one is annoying. Oh gosh, it gets caught everywhere, and it's like annoying. It really is annoying. Sometimes when I'm eating, my front locks get in my food. If I'm drinking, sometimes it may get in my glass. Oh my goodness, annoying. If I'm bending down to do something, I gotta be real careful because my hair may fall into an area that I'm not trying to get it into. Cleaning, I gotta make sure and tie my hair back because if I'm cleaning the toilet, the last thing I want is to feel my locks in the daggone toilet. It's just not happening. So they're getting annoying, although I love my beauties, but they're getting caught in places. And don't let me fall asleep with my hair uncovered. They're annoying. They're everywhere. They're all over. They're just everywhere. Everywhere, and it's annoying. It really is. You're thinking that things are crawling on you, and it's not. It's your hair. Yes, that's the funniest thing. I remember one thing that I realized when my hair was actually growing and it was becoming annoying was the fact that it felt like something was always crawling on my skin, especially in the summertime. And I would feel something, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's my hair. And I would jump sometimes, and my kids would be like, what's wrong, Ma? And I look, it's my hair. So, yeah, that will annoy you at times. You're going to think there's bugs crawling on you at times. Nope, it's your lock touching your skin. Another thing I wish I knew before locking my hair was how much they were going to contract lint or surface dirt. And when I mean surface dirt, I mean like just like sweaters, and that's not dirt, but like the materials from your sweaters, your shirts, your hats, just rubbing on your clothing on a regular. The back locks always seem to look as though they got lint in them, and you gotta really start focusing on brushing that out. You know, brush the lint off, or when you're washing it, you wash those back ones really good because they attract lint the worst way. So it's like in the winter time, I feel like I may have to start doing more updos or keep my hair braided because it's constantly rubbing on and I don't like to wear sweaters because of my hair. The last thing I want is to see gray looking debris, and when I look closer, it's lots of fine lint just trying to embed itself in my locks. So yeah, that's one thing I wish I knew, how annoying it was going to be to keep the lint out of your hair as they get longer. I wish I knew before locking my hair was how tender-headed I was going to become. And I don't know if this is with everybody. Whoever is feeling the same way, please let me know in the inbox, because I notice whenever I need a retwist, my roots are very sensitive. They are so, when you move your hair around, just rubbing your hands through your hair, your roots, they just sometimes hurt. You can feel like the strands are pulling on your root, you know, so it kind of like feel awkward or like sore-ish, you know, unless you get that retwist. But yeah, my hair is like, my scalp changed. I'm more tender-headed now. Not bad where I can't do anything, but there's times that I do feel like wow, you know, ooh, ow, ooh, what's going on? And I know for sure that means time to retwist, because it's too long, at too much roots, and yeah, it's not a good feeling. But if you're feeling the same way, if you get that same feel, please let me know. If at times your hair kind of feel a little sore, like your scalp feels sore, not sore bad, but tender, you know. And yeah, so that's it. So yeah, if any of you want to join in on this, do a tag of things that you wish you knew before locking your hair, because when we start off locking our hair, we just think of this beautiful set of locks that we're looking for as far as our result, but we don't realize the process of different series of things and developments and cycles that this hair goes through and that you experience. So yeah, you don't know about it until finally you go through it. And all you long lockers, long haired locks, y'all ain't saying nothing. You ain't telling the sister nothing. So I had to find out on my own. So if there's anything I need to know coming up, let me know, please. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope this was an enjoyable video as well. And if you as well want to do a tag, do a tag. Things that you wish you knew before locking your hair. All right, you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Put your thumbs up, make a comment, like your girl, and I'll see you on the next video.